What's up everyone? If you're unfamiliar with the state of Phantom Forces right now, essentially the developers are trying to nerf movement and test place to levels even slower than launch Phantom Forces. This decision was met with incredible backlash by 90% of the PF community, so as a result of this, they are now experimenting with splitting the game into two separate server types, one being casual, the nerf movement, and one being standard, the current movement we have. This was also met with incredible backlash because for one, we have much too small of a player count for this, and for two, unlike what the devs seem to think, movement is not what creates a skill gap in this game, and so in this video I want to go over what actually are the problems with this game. Because the devs hardly play their own game, so they seem to be under the impression that movement is what makes this game so punishing for new players, when ironically, it's one of the only things making this game playable for anybody. And their goal is to make this game as casual as it once was, but nerfing movement is not the way to go about it. So, I've compiled the three main points I have on what is ruining the PF experience, why movement is necessary for it to survive, and what actually causes this ridiculous skill gap we see. The first reason movement is necessary is because of the incredibly fast time to kill and gun power creep. If you're unfamiliar with power creep, essentially it means that the average gun gets stronger over time. Nowadays, pretty much every single gun has some ridiculous setup that turns it into a laser, no matter how high of damage it does. And this has only gotten more and more true since launch, and as the game has gotten faster movement-wise, the guns have also gotten more accurate to match. And to me, this is already a huge issue, even with how fast the game currently is, so it'd be catastrophic to nerf movement and expect the game to be easier for new players. When ironically, it's one of the only things that's easy to learn and helps them avoid the absolute lasers we have in this game. Now, I know that the devs might listen to this video and think, hey, it's fine to nerf movement if we just give all the guns higher recoil or higher time to kill. And that's absolutely not what I'm trying to say, because like I said in my last two videos, this game is only unique and fun because of its in-depth movement. My point is just that the laser gun meta is much more of an issue than the movement speed, and it's one of the main things stopping this game from being casual like they want. And again, taking away movement and nerfing weapons would just make it boring, because the expectation of Phantom Forces is to be a fast-paced Twitch shooter. That's just how it's been built up as. And plus, I love the low time to kill in combination with the movement. To me, that's what makes this game so unique and dynamic. Everybody has powerful guns, but you can avoid this by moving. And even if they somehow fixed it, like made everything kill slower, but also made the player slower, it would just be generic and boring in my opinion. And the second biggest issue we have is the 1 second spawn timer, and just spawns in general. Last update that reduced the spawn timer to only 1 second from the 3 that it was before, which is utterly ridiculous. If you kill someone because of how fast it can spawn again, they have a very high chance of ending up in the exact same spawn, and will either get killed a second time, or kill you. And the spawns in Phantom Forces are just so bad that something like this just isn't possible. And even if it was, this short of a spawn timer still just makes you get overwhelmed so easily, even if you're doing well, like it's turning into Doom. And very often, you will be killing the same guy 3 times in a row. It's like, that can't be fun for them. And it's not even fun for you, because you have to constantly watch for being revenge killed. And this is one of the things stopping Phantom Forces from feeling good to play currently. But no, apparently we gotta nerf the movement, despite the fact that the movement is what makes it possible to avoid spawn camps. Like, can you imagine avoiding M60 spray into your spawn if you couldn't slide well? And the final thing I think is hurting this game's casual experience is the lack of good team balance. While I understand why the devs might want to quote-unquote nerf the sweats or implement skill-based matchmaking to make it easier for new players, neither of these are possible in the game's current state. The best way to prevent utter stomps is to implement better team balancing. As far as I understand, currently, the game tries to balance teams right as the map is picked, but it will randomly assign new people who join after that point. But this is an issue because it makes matches become immediately unbalanced. And it just sucks at its job anyway. Also, high skill players honestly aren't a huge deal if your team has them too, because they can keep each other in check, and so if teams are even, they aren't free to just farm you the entire round, and so you can actually still get kills and have fun as a new player. But our current team balance system has been broken for so many years, and it leads to like every second match being an unplayable stomp fest either way. And this only gets worse for lesser skilled players who can't be the ones to influence that outcome. Like, at my level in the game, most of the time, even on a loss, I'm top fragging, but to a rank 20 who hasn't invested as much time into this game, this will be totally unfun and be a hyper-competitive experience. And then those people will leave, and the average skill level will go up even higher, making it even more sweaty. So overall, I think that nerfing movement, and by extension, nerfing high-skilled players, is just not the solution. The solution is good team balance to stop high-skill players from turning it into a stomp. Which, by the way, nerfing movement won't nerf sweats, like I said in my last few videos, because again, movement is the only thing giving new players a chance against people like me, who've been training their aim and game sense for like 6 years. And I said it in another video, but There are 3 pillars that build your skill in Phantom Forces. It is game sense, movement, and aim. And movement you can literally learn in like 10 minutes. Now I said it in my last video, but essentially there are 3 main skills in Phantom Forces. There's game sense, aim, and movement. And movement is by far the easiest to train. No joke, it can take you like 10 minutes and you're just good. I'm not even joking. And you've probably noticed, a lot of new players are actually good at movement nowadays, especially after the last update, which is a great direction. However, if they were to take away movement from low-skilled players, then they're going to have to fight with their incomplete aim and game sense against people like me, who've been playing for 6 years. Like, yeah, I'll do fine without movement, but it's gonna be even more uneven than it already is if I'm fighting like a rank 20. But overall, those are just my thoughts about the state of the game and what I think they actually need to do to fix the game to make it better for the average player, because their current philosophy of just gutting movement and think it'll magically fix the actual issues that cause a skill gap is completely misguided, and it's gonna kill their game if they keep doing this. But thanks for watching, y'all. Subscribe, join my Discord, and bye!